Hi, my name is Sylvia Ash Bullard and welcome to TVC 22's bi-weekly news show called the Rockland Bulletin. There were more media people than citizens of Clarence Rockland in attendance for the Ontario Energy Board community meeting held in Rockland June 20th. The meeting was called to get feedback from the citizens after the province's energy regulator received a rate application from Hydro One to increase its distribution rates over 5 years beginning on January 1st. There is still the chance to weigh in on the matter. For more information on how to get involved in the OEB's rate review processes, please visit oeb.ca/consumer voice and click on Hydro One's distribution rate application. The 6th edition of the Ottawa River Festival runs from June 29th to July 3rd. Friday, June 30th, Sass Jordan performs on the Desjardins stage at the Parc du Malin. There's more entertainment at the park on July 2nd when comedians Sylvain Larocque and Dominique and Martin take it to the stage. Shackstock is Saturday, July 22nd and Sunday, July 23rd at Boston Pizza Rockland from 12 until 10 with live bands and a silent auction, all benefiting Ovarian Cancer Canada. During this fundraiser, Boston Pizza Rockland will donate 10% of food sales to Ovarian Cancer Canada. There are some open slots for bands, musicians, singers to volunteer their time for Shackstock 2017. Also, if your business would like to donate items for the silent auction, please contact Brad Larocque via email, larocqueb1@bostonpizza.com. AGR Television Records announced they've signed Damien Mays to a European release. The label and Mays will release new music which will be distributed outside of Europe under the Sony Music Entertainment banner. From regular appearances in Clarence Rockland at Boston Pizza to his recent appearance at the Clarence Rockland Flood of Hope benefit dinner and concert for Rockland flood relief victims, Damien Mays has been a country fan all his life, with heroes like Kenny Chesney, Brad Paisley, Eric Church, and Alan Jackson. Damien will release his first EP with original recordings. AGR Television Records released a statement saying, Damien has been very impressive in constructing his team and preparing for success, and he is very important to the new generation of country artists. His craft is his life's charge, and we're very proud to add him to the AGR Television Records family. AMG Chairman Mark Berry states, Damien and I have wanted to work together for quite a while now, and I can't believe this day has finally come. His level of artistry, vision, passion, and energy comes along only so many times, and I can tell you with the utmost confidence that there are many, many important chapters left to write. Excited doesn't even begin to describe how I'm feeling about working on Damien's new release. Damien has recorded 5 songs for his debut EP, Long Way Home. The EP's first single, Long Way Home, will be available soon. Damien just returned from Los Angeles where he was filming a music video that will be released with the single. It will be released this summer in Europe and the Middle East through AGR Television Records. Sony Music Entertainment and AMG will make Damien Mays' EP available to the rest of the world. For the 3rd consecutive year, the Franco-Ontarian Farmers Union and the Franco-Ontarian Foundation are helping young farmers. This year, a minimum amount of $13,000 will be distributed to selected candidates. The Franco-Ontarian Farmers Union is committed to supporting and encouraging young farmers. Young people who start an agricultural enterprise or take over the family business are the ones that enable the rural community to remain active and alive. 2 types of scholarships will be awarded to the next generation of farmers. The business project grants are intended to help finance 2 concrete agro-food projects, and the admission studies scholarships will be awarded to 2 young adults studying in an area related to agriculture in French. The scholarships are in the amount of $6,500 each. To apply for a scholarship, visit ucfo.ca. The contest closes on August 8th at 4 p.m. Following a special meeting on June 13th, the Eastern Ontario Catholic District School Board confirmed changes and new appointments that affect the school leadership positions for the next school year. Employees and schools throughout the board are affected, including Chantal Christian Graton, who will be assigned to École Secondaire Escale in Rockland. Marion Bisson will be assuming duties in Saint-Pascal-Bélan. The reorganization was implemented after the school board received resignations from several employees. Ontario is investing in free online textbooks and educational resources for students to make college and university more affordable and accessible. Ontario is partnering with eCampus Ontario to develop and provide free and low-cost digital textbooks to students. The Ontario Open Textbooks Initiative will focus on Ontario-specific content in areas where the most significant impact and cost savings for students can be realized, including high enrollment first-year courses, French language content, content for Indigenous studies, trades and technical skills content, and content for new Canadians. Ontario is also supporting students through the new Ontario Student Assistance Program, which will provide free average tuition to more than 210,000 students starting this fall. By next year, it is estimated that some 230,000 students will receive OSAP and will have less debt. The OFL is calling on the government to ensure public funding for all children's spaces in Ontario. OFL President Chris Buckley says that there's no doubt that creating a system of affordable childcare requires public investment. Families across this province are struggling to make ends meet. Affordable childcare, if it is publicly funded, provides quality care for children and well-paid, steady work for the daycare staff. The OFL urges the government to move quickly to develop a system of universal, affordable, publicly funded childcare in Ontario to help close the gender wage gap and support families across the province. The OFL's www.makeitfair.ca campaign takes on issues of inequality in the workforce and coincides with the province's Changing Workplaces review. The campaign gives voice to unions' demands for across-the-board changes to the Employment Standards Act and the Labor Relations Act that would improve standards for every worker and make it easier for them to join a union. The OFL represents 54 unions and 1 million workers in Ontario. For more information, visit www.ofl.ca and follow at OFL Labor on Facebook and Twitter. And now Business Talk with Andrea Delorme.
Hi, welcome to Business Talk. I am Andrea Delorme from the Clarence Rockland Chamber of Commerce. Let me introduce you to Virtual Sports Zone.
Welcome to Virtual Sports Zone. My name is Donald Prezo. I own and operate Virtual Sports Zone.
What is Virtual Sports Zone?
Virtual Sports Zone is a great place to practice and play golf. It's a great place to socialize with your friends, to relax during the winter months. It's a place that people can watch hockey, practice their swing, bring their children to play some games, and enjoy their times.
What can we expect here at Virtual Sports Zone?
Oh, we can expect a lot. We can expect a great game. The machine will take also a picture of your swing to tell you if you can improve or you have a perfect swing. There's the atmosphere with the sound of the birds, makes it very relaxing. We have beer, food, a table that looks like a green. The environment is great for parties. Especially all winter we had Christmas parties, business parties, junior hockey league that came here for parties, birthday parties, and great machine that will replicate your swing outside in a perfect environment where you can actually take your time, enjoy your game, practice your swing, and have fun.
And where did you have the idea to open a virtual golf place here in Rockland?
Rockland was my choice because I love the community. The people are great. They're fun. There's a lot of golfers. It's a growing community. I started, I got interested in the virtual golf because it's a relaxed atmosphere. It's fun. I work in IT, and a company approached me to help them solve some problems with the computers, and I was able to solve it no problem. And when I saw the technology and what we could do, I figured this is fun, especially with Canadian winters. Sometimes they're long, sometimes they're short. It's a great thing to do something during the winter.
So what age people can come and start swinging?
Any children that can hold a club can start. We have great games for the children to practice until retirement. 90, 95, 100. There's a large group of people that can play. I mean, the children are phenomenal, because they have such a great swing. You know, at my age, well, they're more flexible, and they have a great swing, and they can hit the ball further than I can a lot of times.
Do you offer private courses for someone that wants to start and they have questions about their swings, or?
We definitely provide lessons. The person I gave the lesson is Jared Conley. He's a great person. He's very patient. He doesn't want to change your swing, but he will help you improve any little things to play your game perfectly. And that's the goal of golf. People are very addicted because you always compete against yourself. And for whatever reason, your goal is to lower your score to the maximum and have fun.
And what are your business hours?
Monday to Friday, it's we open at 9 a.m. and we close at midnight. Saturday and Sunday, we open at 8 a.m. and we close at midnight.
Wow.
It's long hours, but it's fun. It's because it's a seasonal business, and we have to do as many hours as we can to attract all the golfers that we have in the region. We offer many packages, meaning that you can play on the simulator per half an hour or 1 hour, or you can play a 9-hole or 18-hole. You can play best ball, which speeds up the game. You have a driving range. We have 27 different courses. We also have executive courses for people who are starting, which are par 3, par 4. And we all know that in golf, the most important club is your short game, the irons and the pitching wedge. So the short game is important, so you can play these games also.
Do you have here golf clubs that we can rent, or they have to bring their own?
It's better that you bring your own, but we do have golf clubs that we can lend to anybody that doesn't have any, especially people who are driving in that see our sign, they walk in, and we can lend them sets of club.
And where are you located here in Rockland?
We are located on Rue Industrielle, Unit 4 in Rockland, and it's right beside the arena of the hockey school.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, Donald.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrea. The Canadian Pediatric Society has released its first standalone recommendations for how much time children under 5 should spend in front of a digital screen. It encourages parents to keep smartphones, tablets, and even TV away completely from children under 2. Canadian and U.S. guidelines recommend children aged 2 to 5 should get no more than an hour of screen time per day and should turn screens off an hour before bedtime. Dr. Michel Ponty says research shows exposure can affect sleeping patterns, stifle learning development, and cause other behavioral problems. There will be 460 new upcoming projects through the Seniors Community Grant Program to help seniors get involved and stay active in their communities. The Seniors Community Grant Program supports initiatives and projects in the nonprofit sector that help seniors across the province stay involved and active, and also find volunteer opportunities and engage in continuous learning with programming and services, especially for seniors. Last June 14th, Elder Abuse Ontario participated in the 11th annual World Elder Abuse Awareness Day by partaking in Yoga on the Hill on the lawn in front of the Parliament buildings. The seniors of Ottawa and surrounding areas were all included in the free event. 3 schools from the Upper Canada District School Board, Pleasant Corners Public School, Russell High School, and Rockland High School joined with a total of 170 grade 7 and 8 students bused to the hill to participate in the celebration and take part in the yoga class. World Elder Abuse Awareness Day serves as a call to action for individuals, organizations, and communities to raise awareness about elder abuse. The International Network for the Prevention of Elder Abuse and the World Health Organization at the United Nations launched the first World Elder Abuse Awareness Day on June 15, 2006, in a global effort to unite communities in raising awareness about elder abuse and the impact this has on the quality of life of our most vulnerable citizens. Accessibility Minister Tracy McCharles says the province's new employment strategy for people with disabilities could create about 56,000 jobs. The government is calling on all businesses with more than 20 employees to hire at least one additional person with a disability. McCharles says businesses that are smaller than that may find it difficult to heed the call, but she says all companies should try to tap into an overlooked talent pool of well-educated, highly motivated workers. The most recent data from Statistics Canada estimates the jobless rate for people with disabilities to be 16%, more than double the national average. Ottawa's Public Health Unit is using information from a study conducted in Colorado to recommend stricter regulations on edible pot products ahead of Canada's marijuana legalization. The unit is seeking approval to recommend stronger restrictions on the packaging of the products, including clear listing of THC content on the labels, along with a clear health warning. A study conducted at the Children's Hospital of Colorado says the number of hospital and poison center visits from children in the state skyrocketed the year after marijuana was legalized there. In the agenda for an upcoming Board of Health meeting, Ottawa public health officials say they want to avoid a similar situation in Canada and hope they can learn from Colorado's mistakes. Federal Health Minister Jane Philpott says the deaths of almost 2,500 Canadians last year due to opioid-related overdoses were preventable. The data released yesterday by the Public Health Agency of Canada said the national death rate from opioids came in at 8.8 per 100,000 people, and more than 10 per 100,000 people in the country's west and north. Philpott says the opioid crisis remains a very serious public health threat and adds while the Trudeau government is very active on this, provincial and territorial governments also must be active in providing a comprehensive response. A new ambulance system is to be introduced in the province starting next March. The Liberal government says it is revamping the system so that patients with less pressing needs can be redirected to places other than hospital emergency rooms. It says a planned update to the Ambulance Act will mean paramedics can provide on-the-scene treatment. They will also be allowed to refer patients to primary care or community care instead of hospitals, if appropriate. It's hoped the changes will help reduce overcrowding in ERs and ease wait times. While the latest cancer statistics are shocking, the Canadian Cancer Survivor Network calls on Canadians and the media to take a restrained and balanced view of them. It is disquieting to think that a loved one or friend, or indeed we ourselves, may be diagnosed with cancer, given that nearly 1 in 2 Canadians will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. But the other side of the coin is that many cancers are now treatable, especially when they are diagnosed early. And while 1 in 4 patients will die of cancer in 2017, the 5-year survival rate has increased from 25% in the 1940s to 60% today. These figures and others can be found in the Canadian Cancer Statistics 2017, released on June 20th. The Canadian Cancer Survivor Network encourages Canadians to be proactive about healthy living and to listen to their bodies and seek medical advice when something feels wrong. Early diagnosis can and does make a big difference in the complexity of treatment, in side effects, and indeed in mortality. And now Stephanie with Health and Wellness.
Hi, and welcome to this new segment called My Health and My Wellness. My name is Stephanie, and I'm here at the Eastern Ontario Health Unit, where I will be talking with Dr. Paul about issues that concern you, the populations. So follow me to help us understand more issues concerning health and wellness. Thank you, Dr. Paul, for having us. Today we're going to be speaking about seasonal depression. What is seasonal depression?
Okay, well, seasonal depression, or medically it's known as SAD, and it stands for Seasonal Affective Disorder, which affective means your mood, and disorder means something's wrong, and seasonal means it's seasonal. So essentially what it is really a period of depression that is brought on seasonally. And it's not because it's cold weather, it's not because it's due to the snow or the winter storm, it's because of the lack of light. Our brains are really wired to be able to respond properly in terms of our hormone regulation to light. To light. Light stimulates various parts of our brain. So especially in northern climates like ours in North America and Canada, during periods between, I would say, November to middle of January, February, March sometimes, where you have more darkness than light, the brain starts to sort of become depressed, and you feel depressed. Essentially, it's the same symptoms that we see with regular depression, where you're tired, you always want to sleep, you're sad for no reason, you want to cry for no reason, you eat too much or you eat less, you sleep more, you eat less, all the symptoms that we see with what we call typical depression, but they are due to lack of UV lights, of light. So we see that manifestation as a seasonal peak during that period of time, and it's because of the light. So what do we do about it? Essentially what we do about it, we're not going to treat it with medications unless it's very severe. And if it's very severe or recurs outside of that period, then it's other type of depression. It's not that seasonal affective disorder. It's not SAD, right? So what we do really is we actually there's phototherapy, there's light. Open up your windows. Sit by the window and get the light in as much as you can. There are synthetic lights that people can sell, put them on themselves and do that. So that's really what we need to do and be aware of it. Go outside a lot. Other things that you can do is to break those sad habits is exercise. Exercise is great because it gets the endorphins of your body going, which kind of counterbalance the effect of the negative effect of the sun. It's very interesting when you speak about the effect of light on the brain, because we know that, just on the side, but it kind of relates to this, the pineal gland is a little gland in the middle of the brain, in the back of the brain, and that is responsible for a lot of hormones. And hormones are the ones that regulate our emotions, regulate our stresses, and so on. And it's interesting that if I were to tell you what the average age of menstruation was, beginning menstruation in girls, 150 years ago, it was probably around 17, 18. Okay? Today, the average is between 9 and 10 and 11. Yeah. It's earlier. Why? Because now we have lights. We have more lights. We have lights indoors. We have electric lights. We have light bulbs and fluorescent lights and everything. And those stimulate the pineal gland to start menstruations earlier. So just to show you the relationship between the brain and light waves. So it's very important to understand that. So just to summarize, seasonal affective disorder really is a temporary depression due to light deprivation, if you'd like.
And when did we discover that there is depression and there's seasonal depression? When did we discover that?
The important question here is what's the difference between a regular depression and seasonal affective disorder? Well, the easy answer is that seasonal is only seasonal. It doesn't occur. It occurs once a year. Whereas, because the symptoms could be the same, but in depression per se, the regular depression that we see, the symptoms are chronic, year-long, independent of light. And they can be more severe, more debilitating. In other words, they can be more affecting your life. So when people are chronically depressed, they have symptoms where they don't want to get out of the house at all, and they last for months. They become a recluse. They might hoard. They sleep a lot. They might gain a lot of weight. And they might be suicidal. They might attempt suicides. And that's the difference between the two. And the discovery of seasonal affective disorder goes back, a long time now. But it's not, the distinction though is that seasonal is seasonal, and it's only due to light, and it tends to be a temporary thing and not as serious as lifelong as the depression, as depressive symptoms are, or the classic depression, which unlike seasonal affective disorder, requires in many situations psychotherapy and medications as well.
If ever somebody notices some change in their moods, and sometimes they won't know to just, get more sun and be more exercise, should they just consult with their physician at that point?
When do you consult with the physician, and why would you consult with the physician? Essentially, yes. I think if you have symptoms that are not normal for yourself, and you're not sure if it's seasonal affective disorder or something else, obviously you should consult your physician and get the help. It may be a reinforcement. They may take a history and examine you. It just may reinforce, it's seasonal affective disorder, you don't need anything else. But it's important at that situation to make the distinction.
Canada will add hundreds of new elite Special Forces commandos, wage offensive cyber warfare, and deploy armed drones to international battlefields as part of its military response to global security threats. The new defense review identifies a wide range of harrowing and borderless threats, including the gray zone of hybrid warfare, ever-present terrorism, and climate change. Some of Canada's military operations will include government-sanctioned cyber attacks and drone strikes on foreign threats, and an increase for the role for special forces in overseas missions. The review says this new elite and futuristic approach to warfighting will respect domestic and international laws. However, the very nature of the secrecy that envelops almost all of Canada's special forces, as well as the active expansion of fighting in cyberspace, will likely raise questions about transparency and civil liberties. The policy increases the ranks of special forces by 605 people and says they will get new airborne intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance tools. The provincial government says it is investing $45 million over the next 3 years to help Ontario's wineries and grape growers improve their productivity and competitiveness. Jeff Leo, the Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, says changes will be made to better support Ontario's wine and grape producers so that they can grow, create jobs, and meet increasing consumer demand for world-class Ontario Vintners Quality Alliance wines. Some changes include helping small and medium-sized wineries access new retail sales opportunities in the LCBO and grocery stores through the VQA Wine Support Program. Sunday, June 25th, OC Transpo's new route numbers for many routes in the south and east areas of the city took place in preparation for the opening of the O-Train Confederation line in 2018. Other summer service changes include adjusted schedules and seasonal reductions to reflect the lower demand for service. Customers should visit and use the travel planner to see if their regular trips are affected. There could be a major coffee shortage that may drive up the price in the near future. Part of the reason is that we are drinking so much of it. Coffee expert Aaron Davis tells the BBC in Ethiopia and all over the world, really, if we do nothing there will be less coffee. It will probably taste worse and will cost more. The World Coffee Research Institute adds the supply of the high-quality coffee is severely threatened by climate change, disease and pests, land pressure, and labor shortages, and demand for these coffees is rising every year. The logical result of that is that prices will need to rise, especially for the highest quality coffees, which are the most threatened. I'm Sylvia Ash Bullard for the Rockland Bulletin.